Hello everyone, this is John Ramsey and I am the principal agent for Covenant Insurance, and we specialize in health insurances, of course, along with other insurance as well, but we actually specialize in Medicare products, and I have a heart for helping people on Medicare. What I found is most people make Medicare a lot harder than it actually needs to be. It's actually a very simple system. It's just it has to be explained correctly, and usually whenever you're going on Medicare, you're typically turning 65, or if you're under 65, it means that you have had a disability for at least 24 months, and so you are allowed to be on Medicare like that. But typically, if you're aging in to Medicare, you're turning 65, you have a stack of mail up above your head. You have everyone in the world calling you. You have people knocking on your door, and of course, everyone is giving you advice. Your mom did this, your sister did this, your cousin did this, your aunt had this. And so it actually becomes very confusing because everyone's talking about plans, everyone's talking about parts, they're talking about a Part F or a Plan F and a Part A and a Plan A and all these types of things. And it becomes absolutely mind-boggling because everyone's telling you something different. But what you've got to realize is not everybody needs to be on the same plan. Everyone goes to doctors at different times. People have different health conditions. People go to different doctors. People take different drugs. And so just because it worked for Aunt Gertrude or Cousin Freddie, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. And then you have some agents that they can't sell this or they can only sell that, and so they come and they tell you that what they have is what's going to work for you. Well, that may not be necessarily true. And so what I would do is I would seek advice from someone like myself that can represent several different plans and several different types of plans. And of course, let me just say that I am not trying to sell you anything. These videos are for instructional purposes only, and but I'm not asking you to contact me in any way. I do invite you, however, to leave a comment or email me, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. But this is what I love. This is my passion, and so what I'm going to do with these videos is I'm going to break down Part A. What would you have to pay? What would Medicare have to pay? Part B, what all is involved in that? Part C, what all is involved with those types of plans? Part D, what is all that about? And so this is going to be a series of a lot of different videos, and hopefully I'll be able to answer any questions that you may have and simplify this process. Let me also say that everything that I tell you is absolute fact unless I tell you this is my opinion, okay? So everything that I'm telling you, you can find right on Medicare.gov or the little red, white, and blue book that you will be getting. If you haven't already gotten it, you will be getting it soon. So let's just jump right into Part A. Now, typically, whenever I have a client coming into my office, I don't go as far as in detail as what I'm about to with Part A, Part B, Part D, and all that. But this video is specifically for Part A. Okay. Now, what is Part A? It's the first part of original Medicare, original pay-for-service Medicare. Part A, and that's dead. Part A. Okay. we're going to call this places, okay? This covers things like hospital, skilled nursing facilities, hospice care, home health. And so this has nothing to do with doctor care. This has nothing to do with any type of test that you may have performed or anything like that. This is strictly what I'm about to go over. Now, I say places, let's talk about hospital. Or we could call this inpatient care. All right? So, if you was to be admitted into the hospital, okay, days 1 through 60, okay, you're going to pay. Now, when I say that you're going to pay, this is only if you don't have any type of supplement or advantage plan or anything like that. This is only if you have nothing more and nothing less than original fee-for-service Medicare Part A, okay? So days 1 through 60, you're going to pay $14.08. And let me also say that these numbers are for the year 2020. They can change every year. When I first started selling them, they were a lot less than this. And I foresee them going up, of course, in the future with inflation, just like anything else would. But these costs are for 2020. Okay. So days 1 through 60, whether you're in there 1 day or whether you're in there 60 days, you're going to pay $14.08. Now, what does Medicare pay? Medicare pays the balance. Okay? Now, let's say you go into 61 days, so 61 through 90. Now you're going to start paying per day. Before, you only paid $14.08 for this 60 days. Now here's the thing. The average, this is my opinion, okay? The average stay is only about 4 or 5 days, okay? But if you're in the hospital for 60 days, this is what you're going to pay. Medicare pays the balance. All right, days 61 through 90. Now you're going to pay $352 per day. All right. What does Medicare pay? They pay the balance. Okay. Now, if you was to go over 90 days, so days 91 and above, all right, you're going to pay $704 per day. Now, let me say something about that. You have what's called lifetime reserve days. You actually have 60 of them in your lifetime where you would only pay this amount, and that's going above 91 days. Now, what do you mean by that? So let's say you're in the hospital for 150 days. Well, you basically just used up all of your lifetime reserve days. So let's say 60 lifetime. 60 lifetime reserve days that you're only spending this amount. After you've maxed these out, okay, then you're going to pay all costs. So let's say you're in the hospital for 105 days. Okay, that means you would have used about 14 Well, 15 of those 60 lifetime reserve days. So the next time you go into the hospital and you have a lengthy stay like that, you only have 45 of these lifetime reserve days left, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I know it can sound a little confusing, and if you have any questions about it, feel free to put a comment. These videos are we're doing on Facebook Live, but we're also going to move them over into our YouTube channel. But feel free to ask any questions about that, because I know that sounds a little weird. But going into the hospital, the first 60 days, whether you're in there 2 days or whether you're in there 45 days or 60 days, it's going to cost you $1,408. Okay, $1,408. Days 61 through 90, you're going to pay $352 per day. 91 and above, you start cutting into your 60 lifetime reserve days. That is $704 per day. And after you've maxed out your lifetime reserve days, you're going to pay all costs. Now, one thing that I skipped over that I'll go back after I get done with all this is actually what Medicare Part A cost. Okay, but I've jumped right on into the places, but that's okay. All right, so Medicare Part A, you got your hospital. Next, you have your skilled nursing facility, your curing place, your rehab. Most of the time, whenever you have, let's say, a hip replacement or something of that nature, you'll have the surgery done, you'll spend the night, let's say, on the 3rd floor, a night or two, and then they'll move you up to a different floor where you're doing the rehab, or they'll move you into a rehab facility, which that's very possible as well. But that's called your skilled nursing facility. Now, by the way, the average stay, this is my opinion, this is just something that I've always heard, and studies show that the average stay is about 14 days in a skilled nursing facility. I have seen people stay 30 days. I have seen people stay longer, but typically, you're going to be rehabbing for about 14 days. Now, under this, days 1 through 20, okay, Medicare picks up the whole bill. You have zero cost, okay? So you have zero cost. Medicare pays all costs, okay? Now, if you have to go over 20 days, and you go 21 to 100 days, now we're going to start dipping into your pocket a little bit. $176 per day, okay? Medicare picks up the remainder. And then if you go over 101 plus, you pay all costs. Medicare pays zero. All right? So that is your skilled nursing facility that is covered under Part A. So far we've seen that this is our places, your hospital care, your skilled nursing facility. Now let's go on a little further. I'm going to leave that Medicare pays. Medicare also, Part A also covers hospice charges. All right, at all costs. All right, you pay nothing for hospice. Home health, Medicare pays all costs. All right, you pay nothing for that. Now, let me talk about that a little bit. I'm not talking about 24/7 home health care. I'm not talking about meals delivered to your home. I'm not talking about homemaker service where they go and do your shopping and all that for you. I'm not talking about custodial care. I'm talking about part-time or intermittent services where a nurse comes by and checks on you and whatnot. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, medical social services, or for women, injectable osteoporosis drugs. If any of that is done in your home, Medicare picks up all costs. That is no cost to you. So again, Medicare Part A is your places: hospital, skilled nursing facility, hospice care, home health care, and there's one more thing that Medicare pays for, and that is blood. Now, blood, what you pay for is the first 3 units. After that, Medicare picks up any additional units that you have to have, okay? Now, let's talk about this for 1 second. If someone comes and donates blood at the hospital on your behalf, then the blood is not charged to you typically. Or if the hospital gets the blood from a blood bank for free, then typically that savings is passed on to you. But if the hospital has to buy the blood from a blood bank, then you would have to pay for the first 3 units. After that, Medicare would pay for any additional units that you may have. So Part A is the places. No doctor coverage, no lab tests, no MRIs or anything else like that. It's only your room and board in a hospital, skilled nursing facility, hospice care, home health care, and blood. Now, how much does Part A cost? That's a good question. If you have worked 40 quarters in your life, or that equals out to about 10 years, and your employer reported your earnings and you paid in your FICA and all that, then Medicare Part A costs $0 for you, okay? Now, I've had people that has worked some jobs that reported in, and then other jobs they've been a independent contractor, or maybe they got paid under the table, or things like that. And so those jobs did not report into Social Security. Well, so 40 quarters, you pay $0. If you work 30 to 30, let me do a little bit better. I know y'all want to talk about my handwriting, and that's okay. That's okay. If you work 30 to 39 quarters of your life, so you didn't quite make the full 40, now you're going to pay for your Medicare Part A. You're going to pay $252 per month. Okay. Now, I do know some people that they never worked they never worked a regular job. They always worked, under the table and whatnot, and so they had less than 0 to 29 hours. They would actually have to pay $458 per month. Now you may say, well, wait a minute. I was a homemaker. I worked at home my whole life. My spouse was the breadwinner. Well, in that case, you're able to go off your spouse's Medicare, Social Security benefit. So if that's been the case for you, then you have nothing to worry about. But it's the people that has worked that hasn't quite worked the full 10 years and reported in, that they would have to worry about this. This is very rare, by the way. Most people, especially if you're aging into Medicare and you're turning 65, you've worked for a job that reports earnings and pay in at least 10 years of your life. So this is not really something that you have to worry about. But anyway, I am not employed by Medicare. I'm not a Medicare agent by any means. I don't have any particular certifications or anything like that. I am a licensed insurance agent, and I do have to pass a certification every year to be able to sell Medicare Advantage products. But my passion is Medicare, and I hope that this instructional video has helped you understand a little bit about what Part A is. This is not a Plan A. This is a Part A of Original Medicare. And I would like for you to look for some other videos that I'm going to do on Medicare Part B, Medicare Part C, Medicare Part D. We're going to do one of why you need a Medicare supplement. I'm going to do one, the difference between a Medicare supplement and a Medicare Advantage. If you would like to see a particular subject, then feel free to leave a comment, and I would be happy to study that out and do a instructional video for that. But thank you very much for joining, and God bless you.